In today's daily video, we're going to talk about doing something you love first thing in the morning. And the reason why it's difficult to do so is because most of us make ourselves feel guilty that we're not doing something else. When we try to take the time for ourselves to live in a state of feeling peace and love and presence for just living in the present moment, most of us, when we wake up, it's all attachment to outer stimuli, to our cell phones, to our needing to be somewhere for a certain time, needing to get to a place to see other people because they will be there at a particular time, setting your schedule around them. You're taking the self out of the equation. But when you can learn to take the time in the morning to focus the energy on yourself, you are doing yourself a huge service in overall spiritual growth and getting into a state of peace and love and overall happiness for your life. And you're going to carry that vibe throughout your whole day. So, waking up, having whatever your favorite drink is in the morning, and dedicating the first part of your morning after you've woken up to doing a meditation practice is the best thing that we can do who are trying to get more in touch with our higher self and our spiritual side of life. And the reason that doing your meditation first thing in the morning upon waking works best is because you're just coming out of dream states when you wake up in the morning. And those states are called alpha and theta brain states. And that's where your brain waves are moving slower and you're more in a peaceful state of mind where you're dreaming, you're in a state of flow, we could almost call it. Your flow state, your brain waves are not moving as fast as when you're analyzing something or when you're angry at something or when you're projecting an outer event. So doing your morning meditation, what it does is when you wake up, you enter beta state, our awake, our alertness brain state right here and now. As I make this video as an example, when you sit down on a chair with your body erect, straight up, what you're doing is you're closing your eyes and you're re-entering the theta and alpha brain states. And you're able to go into your subconscious mind and start to do work or whatever it is that is bothering us that we need to do work on. And a lot of that is of the old stored negative emotions, like I've mentioned in a past video on how to let go of those negative emotions. I will link that video at the end of this one so you can watch that one if you're interested. And it is easier to connect with yourself on another level and going into your subconscious mind and willing to look at all of the life moments that trouble us. Or even if you're somebody who does practice meditation daily and are experienced, you still do your morning practice, and whatever it is that is an obstacle or is troubling us or that we're aware of that triggers us, we can then have a look at it in that morning meditation, and then it helps us be able to clear it out of the body. And when you're done with that morning meditation and you've cleared the negative and the survival like emotions that keep us reacting in ways that are not good when we're awake in public places with our friends, with our family. And it keeps us attached to living in the old vibrational energy, which is in negative. And it keeps us away from living in the positive vibrational energies of living in flow, living with love, acceptance, the willingness. Willingness is very important because when you're trying to do similar work to what I do, you become someone who just loves to make the content. You are happy being the person you are in the process, in the journey, and hoping to reach out to a number of subscribers, whatever you want to call subscribers or followers. Um, that is a goal of mine, but I don't put all of my focus and energy on it. I put my focus and energy on being someone who's willing to make a daily video, being a YouTuber. I am in line with that version of myself that existed in the quantum field. I tuned in with that frequency, and after I've tuned in with that frequency, I began taking the steps to becoming someone who can make a YouTube video per day. Now, that's all part of giving yourself permission to be instead of living in the old needing to think and to analyze and control. And that is what we do naturally as human beings. And even us who are spiritual teachers and personal development coaches, we still deal with the analytical mind. You cannot shut the mind down, but what you can do is have a better relationship with it. And part two of this doing something you love in the morning is after your meditation is done and you're feeling loving emotions, you're feeling great energy within your body. We call this a flow state of creative energy. So, an example of doing something you love after your meditation is done could be simply putting on your favorite record and listening to music. Are you a music lover? I love music, old school music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Hard rock. I like jazz. I find myself in this higher vibrational frequency listening to a lot of like pop and high vibe music. Whereas in my old vibration, I would listen to a lot of aggressive music and heavy metal music and stuff that didn't have as good of a message as the things I choose to listen to nowadays. I'm not saying that you have to give up listening to heavy metal or grunge music. I just choose not to listen to that every single day, but I still have my favorite heavy metal bands that I like. As you've seen in some of my videos, I still rock some of my old t-shirts. But listening to music is an example. It'll put you in a flow state of feeling peace, feeling love right here and now. You're taking the time out of your morning to spend time on yourself doing something that's important to you. And where you have to go next will come. But when the focus of your morning, when you wake up, is to see all of the messages that have come on your social media devices and see where I understand if you have to get to work for a particular time or going to the gym needs to get done prior to going to work. But when you become an individual that cares about your morning practice and your morning time, you'll set a timer in the morning and wake up an hour earlier so that you can accomplish that morning practice. Because when you become the individual that takes time to do a 15-minute morning practice, even if you have to get to work, even if you're going to the gym for 10 a.m., you become someone who is disciplined and is willing to take the time to do the spiritual work on the self. And that type of mentality can then be applied to dreams and goals that you have in your life. Like I talk in some of my other videos of becoming the person and creating the identity that is it right here and now, and starting to feel, act, and think as that person ahead of time. One thing I like to do is I'm a big reader of books. I read a lot of personal development and self help books. So when I'm done my meditation, what really makes me feel peace, love, and joy is whatever the current book I'm reading, and I'll read a few pages from it and notice how your vibrational energy feels when you take a few moments, either 30 minutes or a full hour, out of your morning to do one of these things that I mentioned, something that you love that you can use your creative energy on. It could be in the form of drawing. If you're into photography, it could be someone who's either editing your videos or going out in nature to take more photos. And if you're someone who's a filmmaker, a YouTuber, a Instagram or TikToker, you could use that time to make a video, because when you're in this flow state early on in the morning, you're at your highest creative self for the day before the analytical mind goes to work when we go out in public, when we go out to our jobs, our careers. But it won't matter, because when you have a better relationship with the mind and the analytical way of thinking, you could still come home from doing all those things and direct your creative energy towards doing something again later in the day. But I feel like, and I am proof of, that my best content comes from doing it first thing in the morning and embodying this flow state, embodying this peace energy, and not allowing myself to feel the guilt that I'm taking time out of my morning with my morning coffee. I love black coffee. And sipping my morning coffee here and doing my daily YouTube video right here and now for my 30 videos in 30-day challenge, and talking about no matter what you have on the go, taking time for yourself to do something you love and using your creative energy towards something that is your goal or your identity that you are trying to create for yourself. Good luck, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.